All right, the webinar is started now. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining today. We're going to wait for a couple of minutes so we can give some time to other folks to join as well. And then we'll start the webinar.
Yeah, Dean, great to see you here.
Yeah, people are joining slowly. Some familiar names. How's your day going, Kelly? Busy with the conference?
It is good. Yes, I made it home yesterday without any troubles on the travel side of things. So knock on wood, that's always a fun thing. But now I'm just trying to figure out what did I do the last 4 days, you know?
Probably organizing the conference
Yes, that is that
alongside thousand other things.
Yes, the catering workshop, but that'll be a good one. If anybody on here isn't already registered, or you're at least in the Austin area, or you know people that are in the Austin area, spread the word. Definitely make sure you're at that catering workshop. We're going to be doing basically what we're talking about today times 100. So it's going to be an awesome room full of just some of the best to chat all things catering.
Absolutely. I was actually taking a look at the panels. The panels are really great, really good conversation, really experienced people. Are you going to be streaming it as well or no?
So don't think I'm technologically advanced enough to stream it. So you'll have to be there. We are going to record the sessions,
Yeah,
and if any of you follow Rev in the industry, I'm sure he'll do an amazing recap and share it for everyone as well. So it should definitely, you'll miss out if you're not there, but trust us, we'll make sure the content's available for you to tap into too.
perfect. Perfect. All right. Well, it's 103 Pacific. We're gonna start the webinar, and hopefully other people will be joining as well. So today is, I don't know, I think it's the 12th or 13th session webinars of for Catermind. I stopped counting, but we've done many webinars in the past few months. This new series is about marketing, data, and automation. Just a quick reminder for everybody that Catermind is a catering mastermind, and it has three main pillars: knowledge sharing, supporting each other, and community building. And this webinar is powered by OmniRev and Crumbs.
Woo!
All right, so what are we going to talk about during these series? This is actually the second session of these series. We're going to share ready-to-use plans for people to basically start using a lot of sales growth techniques and strategies that you can basically apply and see significant benefits from it. And obviously, AI and automations, the favorite topic for both of us, and something that I mean, everyone should be adopting soon. It's game changing, and I personally can't wait to talk more and more about it. Today, the webinar is hosted by Kelly Grogan and myself. Kelly doesn't need an introduction. She's one of the brightest minds in our industry. And Kelly, if you want to share a few sentences, please go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Arya, I'm happy to introduce you as also one of the brightest minds in the industry, as well as anybody that's on here today. Taking the time out of your day to invest in yourself and invest in learning more about the industry. That is some of the best stuff that you can do, A, for yourself, but obviously, means a lot to us, and we're here for the discussion. So I think definitely include your questions in the chat here as things are coming up. I know I talk pretty quick, and so sometimes you got to slow me down and we can ask some stuff. But I think what's really great is that both Ari and myself, we're here to be available for you. So book a call. Let's schedule some time. Let's talk through some of these initiatives. And the thing that we're going to continue to see in the catering space is that everybody's in a different part of this journey. Everybody has a different menu, a different tech stack, a different sales team. And so it's not one size fits all. So if you're sitting here saying, whoa, this doesn't apply, where do I even begin? Let's schedule some time to talk through that and see how we can best support you as you navigate this. It's not one size fits all. So we're here to help.
Absolutely. And our calendars are here in case you want to go ahead and book a call with Kelly or myself. We have a really, really interesting giveaway that we're going to talk about at the end of the webinar, only exclusive for people who joined the webinar today. And yeah, we'll talk about it more. But without any further ado, let's basically get into the agenda of today's call. Three topics we want to discuss today. First one is how to double your sales effectiveness. It's super important. There are many ways that sales teams can basically use to double their effectiveness, and these are the things that we're going to be talking about throughout this webinar and the future ones. Simple strategies to, I'm sorry.
Ari, I was just going to say, and notice how that doesn't say how to double your sales. It talks about effectiveness and tips and tools and strategies. And so, Ari is going to talk about as we're talking about saving time and saving hours, it's how do you work faster? How do you work more efficiently? And how do you get more time back in your day to have these one-on-one conversations with guests? So that's what excites me the most about it.
100%, exactly. We're not saying double your sales team.
It might happen, but
it might happen. That's a good thing. But if you double your sales team and double your effectiveness, the outcome is 4 times more. So we're really passionate about that productivity and effectiveness, and that's the big part of our the webinar. On top of that, we're going to talk about simple strategies to save your team hours every month, 30 to 40 hours per month, and obviously unlocking hidden catering revenue that you didn't know was there. Perfect. So the main problem that we are focused on is that most catering sales teams are missing out on 40 to 50% of potential revenue just because they have a poor CRM setup or they don't have a CRM at all. And many catering sales teams, they might be saying that, hey, we don't have a CRM or we haven't really invested in building the right processes within our CRM, and we are doing sales. We are we are generating money and revenue. But the main issue here is that when you don't invest in basically creating the right processes or using a CRM, there are lots of hidden costs associated with not having a CRM or having a broken CRM. And here on this slide, Kelly and I, we're going to talk about some of these hidden costs and to just basically raise an awareness around what these hidden costs are. The first one is missed follow-ups, which leads to missed revenue. Without automated reminders or task tracking or a CRM, important customer touchpoints, they will be missed. And that will be leading to lost trust and missed opportunities. This is an example that I want to show here. This is an account for one of our customers, actually. So on the left side, you can see the manual follow-ups that they sent out, 2,600. On the right side, you can see the automations that the system runs for this client, 6,000. So without basically increasing their sales teams, they are tripling, quadrupling their efforts, their outreaches to their customers by simply using a CRM or using an automation that can really be helpful here. So the main cost is missed follow-ups, which leads to missed revenue.
And then I think, the next one, gosh, having been in catering sales for so long, when you think about those manual workflows, I'm sure everybody on here has those miserable Excel spreadsheets that you're keeping saved in a folder somewhere that have mismatched data, potentially incorrect emails, a social email, is their name spelled correctly? And it turns into a wildly manual process where hopefully you have it scheduled in your day or in your month to be running those reports and pulling that information so that you are doing your outreach on it. But whether it's you or you're managing a team, we know that the manual labor associated with those Excel spreadsheets of not only just pulling the reports, but then also having to go through and line by line send out those emails and try and come up with the tips and the tricks of, do I put my template inside of my signature line? Do I copy and paste my, subject lines through? Or as the number one no-no, do you blind copy everybody and just, check the box and hope it works out okay? Which we know is not a good way to be handling it. That those manual workflows really can be impactful to, your time as well as the revenue.
100%. And the sentence that I really like is that every minute spent on admin stuff is a minute not spent on selling, which is a very powerful sentence because it really shows that all these repetitive tasks that can be optimized and automated, those hours can be spent on selling, which is exactly what generates revenue, building relationships, which is what we're all passionate about, working in the catering sales and growing sales in that way. So the third one is no centralized data and no personalization. So when customer data lives in different places, like your POS, like your online ordering, the different spreadsheets, as Kelly was referring to, your inboxes, marketplace portals, when all these data is so scattered, there is no way that we can basically take action based on a single customer view because the data is all over the place. And no centralized data to me is pretty much similar to no data because it doesn't give you insights. You can't take any actions on it, and you really don't know who your customers are. You don't know what they ordered. You don't know how often they order. You don't know why they order. And these are so important to know because that can help you build personalization on the top because if someone is placing order on a monthly basis and they're placing their orders for employee appreciation or any other basically event, then that gives you a lot of information to put in your sequences, to your templates, for them to really relate to what you're saying and feel like you're caring about them and you hear them and you pay attention to their needs.
And I'd say even on that, having a CRM system, if the data is bad, or as we always say, right, garbage in, garbage out, it doesn't matter what those sequences are, they're going to end up being, ineffective. And so another really important point are those poorly built email sequences. And some of that is a product of just having bad data inside of the platform. But the other thing can be, if you're going to send an email, you want it to be effective. Or you could be sending emails and being okay with the performance of them and the revenue that it's generating. But if you were to double down on that, you may 3, 4, 5 times the effectiveness of those emails. So taking the time on those email sequences to make sure that they are, set up correctly. You're maximizing them. It's not just one email that may end up in spam. And is it clear? Is it really a call to action? Because the more informal and sort of like I'm checking a box to send an email, the less effective it's going to be on it. So if you're going to do it right.
Absolutely. And we're going to have a slide about how to get this right, which we're going to get into very soon. In terms of other hidden costs, so the next one is there's no B2B structure when we don't use a CRM or our CRM is not set up correctly. And without that, we're not going to have any clear hierarchy of companies and their contacts, and sales teams can't really see the organizational buying behavior. And understanding the organizational buying behavior is what was one of the things that leads to really having the opportunity to grow that account and build a deeper and deeper relationship with them. So a good CRM system should be structured in that way that you say, hey, this is the company, for example, Columbia University, and these are all the contacts that are placing orders from that specific account.
And if anybody knows Karen Stutz in the restaurant industry, she is a legacy when it comes to financials and numbers. And when I think about the hidden costs of a broken CRM, that is something that's so powerful for those that are in, the catering position to be able to speak to these numbers, right? Knowing your breakdown of how much corporate business do you do versus social business, how much, how many weddings did you do last year versus the year before? Are companies of 0 to 20 people ordering, or is it 100 to 300 that are ordering? And what I think is really powerful about this is you having those numbers at your fingertips. You can go back to your marketing team and say, you know what? We're down in corporate business this year in mid-sized businesses. We need to run an ad. We need to drop a mailer. We need to do those types of things. And it's a hidden cost, right? By not having that data, you've got ineffective marketing, even at the highest level, for digital ads, for direct mail, for any of those efforts, because they don't know where to spend their time. When you have a centralized system like this, it's going to empower them to make much smarter marketing decisions. Same thing talking about those lapsed and churned customers. That's another data point for you. Talking about how active is your database. Even in the sales side of things, I love that as a tactic when, speaking to a large corporate company that I'm trying to get into. We have a 20% reorder rate, right? Which that's a low number. So don't use that number. You want it much higher than that. So we've got a 95% reorder rate within the last 30 days or something like that. Having those data points is going to elevate your sales process compared to somebody else.
Absolutely. And honestly, when it comes to growing catering sales, um, winning back the lapsed and churn customers is the lowest hanging fruit here. We do that for all of our customers, and the result is really mind blowing. Bringing those customers back and incentivizing them to place an order again after they're being lapsed or churned is I can't stress enough how important that is. And a good CRM, a good process will help you automate the entire thing without spending a lot of time on it and really get big ROIs on it.
Yeah. This poor segmentation, the wrong messaging. I'm going to talk about something similar to this in a couple slides, but I was just at a conference and they were talking about this, and there was this guy on stage, and he was like, I just had a baby, or didn't just have a baby, he had a baby about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. And I guess maybe I'm telling the story wrong, about 3, 4 years ago, and he's like, to this day, I'm still getting emails about discounts on diapers. And he's like, my kid's outgrown them. Stop mailing that to me, right? Come up with a different reason. And I'm like, gosh, like what a great point, because it's the exact same thing. Taking our impersonal messaging and sending it out. You're going to wonder why people are unsubscribing from your emails, or, they're not responding to it. Like sending out corporate catering, if you're, hitting, a stay-at-home mom, she's like, I don't care about that, or somebody that placed, a birthday order with you, and you're talking about fundraising programs, right? There's definitely an element of relevancy you want to have with your segmenting so that it's making sense. And otherwise, they unsubscribe and you can't get them back from it. So taking the time to really segment it out is going to allow you to have them receive the right message.
Absolutely. Or the other example is to reach out to your healthcare clients for a Teacher Appreciation Week. That is completely irrelevant from their perspective. They are doing the outreach, they're reaching out to the customer, but that is causing harm than any benefit, because again, if someone sends me emails that are irrelevant, as you mentioned, I'm gonna unsubscribe, and I'm a lost customer forever for that specific brand. And last one but least is, yeah, do you want to explain that one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When you're relying on marketplaces instead of like using your own data for it, right? You're relying on ezCater to be using their CRM to be reaching out to people. I don't know if, and hot tip of the day, register as a consumer on ezCater and create an account as if you were trying to place a catering order so you can see the messaging and the segmenting that they are sending out. You will be surprised if you start searching for sandwiches, you're going to keep getting emails about sandwiches, National Sandwich Day, and things of that nature. Do you need sandwiches for this event? They do a great job segmenting it. And so the problem is when you are sparsing some of that data that's coming in from them, if you don't have the full picture, it makes it really hard to continue to remarket to them. Makes it really hard to stay on top of. And so have a home for that data that's coming in. Yes, it's important to know what your financials are when it comes to ezCater, but those are still your customers. And so even if Susie from Wells Fargo, she placed an order and she has to use ezCater. How do you get her to order easy? How do you get her to use ezCater to order for you 3, 4, 5 more times that month? Still really critical data. You want to make sure you're housing somewhere so you can be looking at and reviewing those metrics.
Absolutely. And let's talk about the opportunity a little bit. If we do all those things, if we implement the right process when it comes to sales and customer relationship, the opportunity and the benefits of that is that that's going to double your sales effectiveness. That is going to, as a result, double your sales without adding new headcount. That's going to save 30 to 40 hours per month per sales manager. And it's going to make it really easy for everyone to identify their high value accounts, their churned accounts, and lapsed customers. This is just one case study that I want to showcase to everyone here. So this is just one example of automation that we are running for a client, and it's a lapsed contact automation. And that has generated $200,000 for them just in the month of August. That shows the power of automation, shows the power of segmentation, shows the power of reaching out to the customer at the right time, and so on and so forth.
I mean, that's amazing when you look at it from a financial perspective. If you were to bring that number to your marketing team and say, how much do I need to spend in ads to generate that type of a return? It's going to be a pretty large number. You think about advertising on like ezCater or DoorDash and the promotions and the ads that you have to run in order to hit those metrics. And it's a significant amount. With this and having this CRM, these segmentations that are just running in the background, not only did it take, Aria, how long do you think that took to set up? Oof.
Oh, like the automations, like
Yeah.
15 minutes.
I mean, crazy when you think about
Yeah.
how much revenue you're able to generate with that. And so, not only that, it's free money. This is money that you didn't have to go out and cold call for. You didn't have to hit the streets and knock on doors. This is money that's sitting inside of your database. You've already done the work to get the guest. Let something as easy as this sort of, keep it alive and keep it going for you. When we think about just like the timeline it takes to implement these things, by the time you build out the different segments that you're going after and you build in the data and you clean up the data, once you do it once, gosh, it becomes so much easier once you start going through the process.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't agree more. The ROI on it is crazy, and the time spent is just so insignificant when you compare it to all the work that a lot of us have to do to create and generate sales. There's something that you're talking about here about your experience at Crumbs.
Yeah, for me, and I kind of just said it before, right? It's something where the time it takes to sort of set this up and the returns that you see that are generated so quickly, gosh, dedicating the time to get it set up and get it right will produce incremental revenue on the back end of it. So it can be that easy.
Absolutely. Perfect. All right. So, another critical pillar of this, of like building your sequence, or building your processes and getting results from it, is obviously data foundation. You talked about it, Kelly, garbage in, garbage out. This is a big problem. I was actually talking to Gracie yesterday. She's the VP of sales at oh, I forgot the name of the brand, Jason's Deli, right? And then this is one of her biggest problems too, like garbage in, garbage out. And when you talk to anyone, like people as experienced as Gracie or anyone else, this is their main problem. And to be able to solve that problem, these are the things that we can basically do to alleviate some of the problems that come with, like, dirty data. So the things that we can do, the first step is to clean our data and have our customer data enriched. What do I mean by that? So by enriching data, that what I mean is like to add the company names and have all the contacts to be underneath those companies, to assign SIC categories to every single one of your companies, to assign a market, to assign an owner, and so on and so forth. Assigning all these values to your customer data will help you to basically filter your list in a very smart way down the line when you want to segment your customer list and personalize the information.
Gosh, and what I love about that, because man, I don't know about you, Arya, but I have got severe OCD when it comes to this letter is capitalized, this one is not. We shorten, we abbreviate this, we don't abbreviate that. And having trained sales teams for so long, everybody understands things a little different. Some may consider that a corporate event. I consider that a holiday party, or some may consider it a law firm. Some may say it's an office building. And so, having a concise system that, regardless of who's entering the data, right, or regardless of who's doing it, it is pulling it in and automating it and keeping it consistent and clean. That is going to make things so much easier, not only from a data perspective, but from a training standpoint for sales teams, whether you have turnover, you're trying to keeping that all consistent can make things significantly easier, and it just looks prettier when you're looking at it. So
absolutely. And the natural step after that is to segment our accounts and our clients, knowing who is the high value customers, knowing who's the lapsed customers, knowing who's the churn customers, and also knowing who unsubscribed. These are very important. I'm gonna actually share an example for the unsubscribed one. I was talking to another brand a few days ago, and they said we don't have any process basically in place to not send out emails to people who unsubscribe, because we always get an export from an online ordering and we send the emails that way. And every single time we send these emails out, one person or few people get back to our emails and be like, hey, we told you, 10 times, stop reaching out to us. This is going to really piss off the customers, and this is going to really create a bad dynamic between the brand and the end consumer. So having all these segmentations, like, another example is the high value customers. If you know who is the high value customer, and if something goes wrong with that specific customer, that the whole team knows that we should call them now. We should, maybe send them some desserts and so on and so forth to make sure that they are not disappointed and to make sure to win back that customer. So segmenting our accounts is the one of the most important ways to keep the data clean.
And kind of like I talked about earlier, right? Know your numbers. Having a CRM system like this is going to allow you to rattle off exactly where your percentages are. How many lapsed customers do you have? How many have unsubscribed? How many fall into that high value bucket? Catering is so far behind the times when you think about those data points. And if any of you have done any work on, the third party side of things, inside of any of those platforms, you can measure on a month-to-month basis how your customers are performing and what those metrics look like. Those are the hidden costs of not having that data. You could have a number that's tanking in the background and just not be aware of it. And so having a CRM system is going to help you actualize that information.
Totally. And another important thing is that like having a CRM basically software is important. And basically having that integrated with your online ordering is another important piece. Because if you don't have the order data, then a lot of these taggings can be very difficult thing to do. And one of the most important basic information that we can get from our order history is the order frequency. It's important to know who is weekly, who is quarterly customer, who is an annual customer, because if you want to, like one of this is one of the things that a lot of brands do. They just once in a while they get an export from their online ordering to see who haven't placed an order in the past 3 months, and they reach out to every single one of them, trying to win them back. But if that customer that you're reaching out to is an annual customer, reaching out to them is not going to do anything and is going to basically just frustrate them because every 3 months you're reaching out to them, asking them to place an order, but they're just an annual customer. So like having this piece of information is also very important and makes the sales process very smart and efficient.
And on the occasions ordered or menu exploration, when you're thinking about the data side of things, a company I used to work for, we sold turkey on Thanksgiving, and so it was like a holiday season promotion. And so trying to capture the data of anybody that had placed an order that had turkey in it for last year was, I remember having to start pulling those reports weeks in advance. And so being able to get that granular with your data to say, hey, next month we're running a promotion on lasagna. And so how do I reach out to anybody that either A, has ordered lasagna and incentivize them to order it again, or B, somebody that has never ordered lasagna and incentivize them to try it? We work with a group that they know consistently if a guest tries their chicken Caesar salad, they become a customer for life and they continue to come back. And so, same thing on catering. If you know if a guest orders your cannoli, for example, that they're going to continue to come back, how do you go after anybody that hasn't ever ordered cannoli and say, hey, we're going to put a free tray on for any catering order that you have coming up? So, a lot of different really powerful ways that you can be using that, menu data for exploration.
Absolutely. Very, very powerful. And the last one is about tagging for deeper organizing. Um, Kelly, do you want to share your thoughts about that too?
Yeah. I mean, I think, everybody's out in the field attending events and whether you're popping up a table at a parent teacher night or you are using a lead generation software or maybe you made an investment in a radio ad, being able to tag those different marketing tactics to these guests of how did they hear about us or how did they come to us or did this cause a guest to place an order? Being able to assign those different tags to those guests, again, it's going to give you a more powerful data point. So when, that chamber subscription comes around next year and they're asking if you can spend $2,000 on it, you can say, you know what, I'm good. We really didn't see too much from it, right? Nobody redeemed the coupon. We didn't get too many catering orders. I didn't get any new accounts from it. And it can help you negotiate that contract. So not just about growing catering sales, it's really about increasing your sales effectiveness with the data that's available.
Absolutely. But that being said, though, this whole process of keeping your data clean is really hard. It's extremely time consuming, and it requires a lot of effort. But I think we're all lucky that we're living in a time that like AI is a thing, and AI is really good for enriching our customer data, helping us keep the data clean. So if you think you don't have the time for it, you should definitely consider adopting an AI solution that can help you with that process. All right, so this is just an example of clean data to just put this into perspective. This is all, what we're talking about. So a profile with the company name, contacts people who have placed an order from that specific, for example, account, which is a Columbia University in this example. Knowing the origin of this account, this origin is first party catering, could be could be a wedding, could be third party, could be crumbs. We actually have that as an origin in our CRM. It could be anything, right? So knowing that is important, the website, the market, the SIC categories, education and training, the order frequencies weekly. And on the right side, you can see all the communications, the history, all the orders that they placed, every single email that has gone back and forth between the brand and the client. So and how the way we do this is like, we use AI to keep all this data clean. So our clients, they don't spend a single minute on keeping the data clean. That's all done with AI. And that's one of the things that we do at OmniRev. Moving on from this slide, now we're going to talk about the pipeline. Very important to set up the pipeline, and it's a big part of selling and gives a lot of structure to our sales process. Obviously, from brand to brand, this varies. Some of the main statuses that I've seen that brands use, and this is something that I personally basically recommend to people, is to have like a few statuses that you can basically use and push people down this funnel as you grow your relationship with them. So obviously a cold lead, someone that we've never talked to them, they're going to be tagged as potential. And then maybe we talk to them, we send them an email, they say, yeah, we do catering once in a while, and we might be interested. Then they're going to be qualified. If they're not, they don't do any catering, they would be tagged as not interested. When they start placing orders, they're going to become customers. And then when they lapse from the order frequency, they're going to become lapsed and then obviously churned after that. Three statuses that I've seen people use is food drop, or sampling complete, or sampling scheduled, and so on and so forth. So based on your sales process and the way that your brand is doing sales, it's important to add these custom statuses to your CRM. Any CRM that you're using allows you to add custom statuses. And based on your statuses, you can give a lot of structure to your sales. Kelly, any thoughts on this?
No, I think it goes back to, there's so many CRMs out there that force you into using certain statuses. And so, in managing a sales team or deciding what that is, you're like, well, that kind of, that kind of means this, or it kind of means that. And so being able to have these custom setups makes it really powerful to make the CRM system work for you and your business, not work just because it's checking a box. So.
Absolutely. Perfect. All right. So now that we clean the data is clean, and we have to send out email sequences and email templates to our customers. There are many good practices when it comes to email templates, the things that we need to do and the things that we should avoid doing. And Kelly, please go ahead and share with us what are the things that we need to keep in mind.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time in this space and have sent out a lot of emails in my
Probably
day.
more than anyone else in the
Yes,
industry. Yeah.
yes. I would say a lot of people have received an email from Kelly Grogan before. And so but I'll tell you, that's probably the first thing. When you talk about email templates, the do's and don'ts, make it look like it's actually coming from a person. Sending from catering at or group events at, that impersonal nature, gosh, that immediately puts somebody, it's a red flag, not only for the guest that's receiving it, but also for any of those email providers that are out there. You want to make sure your emails are ending up in the inbox, and once they're there, how do you make sure people are replying to them, opening them, and things of that nature? So on the left-hand side here, talking about like your subject lines, getting creative with it, the little brackets, we call that spin tax. And where that can be important, not only from a personalization standpoint of pulling in different key brand notifiers of the company name, the first name, the last name, that helps keep everything unique. And it helps you from when you're sending at a higher volume, makes it so that Google isn't flagging you to say, wow, Kelly Grogan's sending 500 of the exact same email out. When it's pulling in that information, that helps it stand out. So it looks like you're sending individual unique emails. Most important part about this, though, is that if your data is not clean, and like I said earlier with my OCD, if you've got typos, you've got school names that are spelled incorrectly, you have got things that are incorrectly formatted, you put the customer's name in wrong, you didn't fill out their name. A lot of this stuff can get junky from that. And so having a key CRM system that's going to keep that clean is going to keep those email templates effective. The other important thing is you may really feel like you want to send a copy of your new menu that you spent all this time getting approved and making it look beautiful. Wait until a guest replies. Attachments are the #1 way to get flagged by any spam that's out there. You know that, right? If you've been through IT training, they say don't open anything, don't open any attachments, and don't click on any links. Well, same thing goes for our messaging when we're sending it out. You want to make it look authentic. The #1 goal is to get it in the inbox, get it opened, and get it replied to. Easiest ways to do that are going to be those, like I said, that safe sender side of things, make it look like a human sending it, make it look like it's personalized, don't make it look like a marketing email, and then give them a clear call to action of why they should be replying. And just on the next one, we talk about, one goal. You also maybe want to be talking about holiday parties and party pans and your new catering package, and we also do gift cards, and can I drop a sample off to you, and here's a copy of our menu. Stick to one clear call to action. Keep it simple. I don't read, you don't read, you may not have even read what's on the slide right now. And so make your email the exact same way. Clear call to action, keep it simple. Keep it short, same thing, right? You want it to be something that they can breeze through, catch their eye, get the reply, and then you can double down on all the things that come back from it. And then again, right? Personal. Don't go above and beyond. Don't make it feel like you took the same email and sent it to 500 people, even though you did, right? Double down a little bit. Make it like you're trying to connect with them. Or another great call to action we like to use is, can you help me? And those are going to be the types of things that don't come across as a marketing email that'll help increase the effectiveness of it.
Love it. And just to make sure that everyone's on the same page regarding this. So when we say email template is like the individual emails that are within each email sequence. Now that we have the, all the things that Kelly talked about, we have to keep that in mind for building each of those email templates. But then the next step is to build the email sequence. These sequences of email that we want to send out to customers. So what are the do's and don'ts when it comes to that?
Yeah, again, right? You want to have sequences that actually have a couple emails in them. Everybody can send the first email, but it's the people that don't send the second, third, and fourth sort of follow up on it. That's where the effectiveness comes in. So build it out with a series in mind, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in a second. But have timing in between the emails, so it is something that is consistently happening and you're maximizing your time. We've all been there when marketing sends out an email blast and you get inundated with leads and then it falls off. The benefit of having an email sequence is not only are you going to get leads that first day, you're going to get the people that didn't reply on the second blast, didn't reply on the third blast, and it'll be really consistent conversations. And something that we really like to do is, increasing the offer as you go through it. Cast a big wide net on the first one and see who replies. The second one, you're like, okay, maybe we'll catch a couple eyes. The third one, right? You're at a point where they haven't replied to you yet. So how do you sweeten the deal? How do you get the reply this time? And you can do that through an incentive and offer if you reply and let me know, I'll give you free brownies or something like that. So make sure you're effectively using those emails in the sequence.
Perfect. And about the timing between the emails, there are many different opinions about this, and I think this is a very subjective topic to talk about. But the way I do the timing between the emails is that if I'm sending cold email to potential clients, I design it the way that the first email goes on that day 0, we call it. The next email goes on the next day, and then we're going to give them 5 business days, and then day 6 and day 7. If there are lapsed customers or churn customers, meaning that we know those customers, they just haven't been placing orders in the past little while, then this is the timing that we usually do for those sequences. But again, you have to try different things out and see what works best for you. Take it with a grain of salt, but this is my preference. All right, so this is my favorite part, analytics and data and reporting. So tracking analytics is probably just as critical as sending the email sequences, because that's when we learn about our customers, their, what they like, what they don't like. And the way we can basically gauge that is that by seeing like how many of those emails were opened, how many of those emails were clicked, how many of those emails got a reply, and how much revenue those emails generated. So one of the things that we do in our CRM is that because we are integrated with online ordering systems, we can basically tell our customers how much revenue each sequence is generating, as well as like open rate, click rate, and reply rate. And when we take a look at those, the data, then what we can do is like we can start doing A/B testing, meaning that we can try different incentives. Maybe we can just change our strategy. In one email campaign, we're going to offer a coupon. In one, we're going to offer cashback. In one, we're going to offer a discount. And then we're going to see which one got more revenue, which one got more open rate, which one had a higher click rate. And then by experimenting with all those things, then we can design the best performing sequence for our specific brand. Other things that we can try is we can try different email subjects, right? The subjects that Kelly was talking about here. Here, again, we have to try it out and do A/B testing to understand which one is performing better. And last but not least is like, we can try different first line for emails, because everyone reads their first line and then make a decision to whether I want to continue reading this email or I want to move on to the next email. Perfect. And again, any CRM that you want to choose for your business, make sure that it gives you these capabilities, because it's important to act in a very smart way. Kelly, any thoughts here, or should we move on to the next slide?
No, I think it's, having the data on, your emails, it shows you what's working, right? And it shows you maybe that offer in email 3 makes sense, and maybe you should put that offer in email number 1. So definitely a lot of different data points here that can be beneficial. Obviously, my favorite column is revenue generated, so that's always a fun one to look at. And the next one that we're kind of talking about is like, okay, so you got an order, how do you build out sequences maybe that aren't just about following up and trying to get another order, right? We all know one catering order, if it feeds 20 people, it's going to feed, that's 20 new guests that you can be reaching out to. But on some of those one-off occasions, it's how do we personalize, the next outreach that they receive on it. So taking those single wins and turning them into, additional orders is something that can be really important. And if you have an effective CRM system, it's going to allow you to be able to do that. And so just 2 quick examples here, like when you think about a social sequence, we see all these social occasions come through. And like I was talking about earlier, if you signed up for diapers because you just had a baby, that may not be relevant a year or 2 years from now. And so how do you take that occasion and turn it into a sequence that you can be reaching out about? And so just a weird kind of example we were talking about is like, okay, if somebody hosts a baby shower, you do baby shower catering for them. And that, there's suddenly going to be somebody that's going to be celebrating Mother's Day, right? And so how are you then, maybe it's not the person that was planning the baby shower, but that could be relevant messaging that you can now be reaching out about. And now baby shower, probably they're going to be having a birthday around the same time next year. And so suddenly you've got these great talking points that you can be reaching out about that aren't necessarily about orders, but can be saying, hey, we do great first birthday celebrations. And so suddenly you're triggering somebody to say, oh, Johnny's birthday is coming up. We did a baby shower for him last year. Then maybe they're going to be going to school. And so thinking about that sort of very high level of personalization based on the occasion with which somebody booked for can give you a leg up when you're reaching out about that. Same thing we think about corporate, right? We get everybody that's placing a corporate order. How do you send that sort of immediate thank you to them, right? Thanks for choosing us. And then, double down on it 2 weeks later and say, hey, I just want to tell you, I really appreciated you choosing us for your corporate meeting. Like, let us know if you need anything in the future. And then the next part of the sequence is how do you find some relevant food holiday that you're reaching out about? And what's so great about AI right now is you can be building this all in the back end and it'll be doing it for you. So pick, these are the 10 food holidays that are coming up and it could automatically pull that information in and suddenly you're reaching out about something that's relevant, right? First of the month. Hey, wanted to wish you a happy insert here, right? Enjoy the month. Let me know if you need anything. And suddenly you've got this entire sequence based on just that one singular corporate catering order that came in. And so I love the corporate side of this. Obviously, social can get a little wonky. But when you think about that, I couldn't even tell you how many are in there. But 7 or 8 email sequence that is highly personalized, that is fun, that feels like, man, you went out of your way to reach out to somebody about the first of the month. It's just something that is going to set you apart in the space that without having a CRM system is very difficult to do correctly.
I'm so grateful that you're sharing that with everyone. This is something actually I learned from you a couple of days ago when we're doing the prep call. And I think this is why I'm so passionate about sales, because sales is all about just thinking outside of the box and see like, what is the next step? How can I be there at the right time? Because reaching out to that person at the right time is the most important thing when it comes to sales. And like thinking about it like in this way is just so mind-blowing. I really love it. It's brilliant.
Thank you.
Perfect.
I feel the same way. So
That's awesome. Okay, perfect. So we only have 8, 9 minutes left. One of the Okay, so I mean, obviously, we want to talk about AI and some of the prompts that we think is that there are like important prompts to use and to have in your back pocket. The first one is a hidden revenue finder. So this is a prompt that you can basically copy the whole thing, paste it into your ChatGPT, Grok, or any other LLM that you're using. And what you need to do is to attach your customer list and then order history basically in the past 6 months, maybe a year, and then ask the AI to give you, who's my top 10 customers likely to reorder again, which customers are lapsed and need reactivation. And you can also ask the AI to suggest the next steps for each group that tells you exactly what the AI thinks is the best next step for each of those customers are. I mean, obviously, we're not going to listen to every single thing that AI says, but it's a great brainstorming tool to kind of come up with ideas.
yeah, and I think the next few slides, that's what we're kind of talking about as well, right? Using AI to be smarter with your catering data as well as your catering messaging. Doesn't need to be, you don't need to have a full-fledged CRM system to be able to leverage AI in maximizing your catering data. The example that Arya just shared, right? You can take your orders, you can upload it in there and ask it, right? Tell me what to do with this. Where can I best spend my time? In addition to clean this up for me, right? Make this look better. Help me find the website and the email domains. And so we actually dropped in 10 different fun prompts that you can be using today, whether you're using your data or you're just trying to come up with ideas, that you can literally drop into whatever AI software you use for it, to help come up with new ideas that you can take action on today. And so we'll send these out to you. We don't need to go through them all one by one, but like generate new business leads or help me find new catering targets in this area. one we love to use is help me come up with 20 new job titles that I should be reaching out to that might be ordering catering. Or, how can I ask this customer for a referral after they just placed an order with me? And so I think there's just endless amounts of prompts that you can be using to, again, work smarter, work more efficiently, and tap into just the opportunities that are there when it comes to, the catering side of things.
Totally. And again, we're going to send these out after the call so you can go through them one by one. And thank you, Kelly, for putting this together. This is invaluable. And one of the things that actually we want to really highlight during these webinars is to really encourage everyone to use AI as much as you can. I was actually listening to a podcast a couple of days ago, and they were talking about what makes people successful now is like network, hustling, and like being smart and so on and so forth. But in the next few years, the only indicator of who's going to become successful or not, one of the main ones is like how much they use AI. If someone using AI 5 hours a day is probably a little ahead of someone who's using AI half an hour a day. So yeah, we really want to encourage that mindset here because we think it's an important thing to incorporate into your life. And yeah, so similar to the previous webinars, we're going to talk about the key opportunities in the month of October and November.
Yeah, keep in mind, and we've got, I think I've got a blog article we can share on this too. When you think about holiday season, it's here. And yes, you want to be doing your holiday outreach, but don't miss the opportunities that are available to you in the month of October. You probably saw it with some of the prompts that we have up there, but Halloween office parties, fall festivals, those key community events that we know are making a difference in the area, definitely you want to be tapping into those. If you had an awesome CRM system at your fingertips, you could reach out to everybody that ordered for Halloween last year, or maybe ordered in the month of October in a super easy way. Another great category is going to be on the medical side of things, talking about breast cancer awareness, talking about fundraiser programs. How can you support the local community? I know Liz from Nukes is doing this amazing ovarian cancer fundraiser right now. And what a great thing to be able to talk to anybody in the medical space about, right? They all want to support that cause. And so great segment that you could be pulling and reaching out to. Retailers for our shoppers on the call. Columbus Day, tons of sales at the store ahead of holiday season, but retailers are busy. Now is the time to get your foot in the door with them, get their contact information so you can be reaching out about Black Friday orders. And my favorite one that I could go on for days and days and days about are apartment complexes and the endless opportunities that are available with them. Every single apartment complex, for the most part, is going to be hosting a Halloween party. Halloween party, they're going to be doing something fun for their restaurant or for their residents, whether that's a trick or treat or it's a decorate your door contest. They're decorating somewhere. Now is the time to get in there to build that relationship, ask how you can support those Halloween parties, and tap into guests that we know are living, probably working, and have that disposable income inside of your community.
Beautiful. Amazing. And this is what we were talking about in the beginning of the call. So the free giveaway, and one of the ways with Kelly and I thought we can serve the community is to have a free CRM audit for specifically for people who joined the call today. So again, we shared our calendar link in the first couple of slides, and when we share the slides, you can use it, or you can go on our websites, Crumbs or OmniRev, to book a call. We're happy to do a free CRM audit to join you on a call and then go through your CRM, your sales processes, and share our thoughts as much as we can to basically help you grow your sales and become more effective. Any thoughts on this, Kelly?
No, I think, hey, we're here to help. And that's what's so great about our space. And what I personally love about the catering space is that it's something where resources are out there. And it's not about upgrading your entire tech stack. It's about those small, easy wins. And you've got two experts sitting here that, if we don't know the answer, we'll get it for you. But let us do the legwork. Let us help you.
Perfect. And well, yes, so as everyone knows here, we have a beautiful community on LinkedIn and School. We're going to be dropping the link here. If you're not part of our community, please go ahead and click on the link and join us there. A lot of the announcements, we'll share them over there. And yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking the time and spend 1 hour of your time today with us. We were really good with timing, 1:59.
Woo! Plenty of time to go test out one of those prompts. So
Exactly. Kelly, thank you. Thank you for sharing all the things that you shared. And thank you, everyone, again for joining.
thanks, everyone. Have a great day.